Hello, Internet, and people at home. Hello, Instagram. It's a lovely Thursday morning. Today we got the sun out. Yay! We did have it yesterday, along with a lot of humidity. And I'm a strong believer that whatever we get, we can use. So I used it for planting. And today my plants are going to be very happy. I hope you found your place of balance with everything around us. And that's exactly what we're going to do now. We're going to close our eyes and find that place of balance with your breath, with your sitting position. Even small things with your shoulders, with your tongue. Just balance. And I've said it before, balance is not symmetry. We are not symmetrical. But we can work with what we have in order to achieve balance, which is kind of that golden bridge between old age and sage and young age and curiosity. So bring both into the practice and keep breathing, softening the belly and engaging the body into the motion of the breathing. And try to do it through your nose. That will keep the heat inside, will warm up the muscles. And then bring the breath even higher into your rib cage. And the last part, fill up the belly, rib cage, and collarbones, all the way up to your shoulders. Maybe opening the chest a little bit, rolling the shoulders back, opening the chest, and then exhaling. One more time, inhale as big as you can. And exhale with control. Bring your hands to your heart center. And find your own balance. And on your next inhale, open your eyes and smile. Lift those hands up. Look up. And lift the hands up, the shoulders down. Maybe a Y is better. Opening the hands a little bit. We all have different shoulders. And just roll the head from shoulder to shoulder on the back, very slowly. Then bring the head back to center, interlace the fingers behind your sacrum, open the chest, and contrary to what we usually do, drop the head forward. So there's a mega stretch in the traps. And keep breathing, don't stop breathing. We're not stopping at any point. Release, come back to center, open your hands to a T. Rotate the hands in and out in the shoulder socket. So what's leading the movement is the thumb up and thumb down. And try to do it without lifting the shoulders, just rotating. Now when you go back, you're going to feel the shoulder blades, feel them even more as if they want to kiss. They're not going to kiss, but just Stretch that, yeah. And then bring the back of your hands in front of you, round your back, suck the belly in, drop the head. On your next inhale, open to that T again. This time, push the chest forward, the belly too. And again, try to get those scapulas to meet, the shoulder blades to meet. They are not going to meet, but just try. Shoulders down. And again, that roly-poly with the back of your hands in front of you. Drop the head, round your back, tuck the tailbone in. And inhale, open up. Exhale, roly-poly. Inhale, open up. Maybe lifting the head this time. And one more time, that roly-poly. Inhale, open up, maybe look up. Release the hands and just start feeling the side bends of the spine with both hands on the ground. And then next time you're on the left side, bring the right hand to meet the left on over the left thigh, and I'm not mirroring you. And just stay here for a minute, rotating only the upper body so that your sitting bones are on the ground. It's a twist of sorts, but you're opening the left side. So nice. And then start walking the hands on the floor in front of you to the center. Come to the other side. You got it. A nice breath here. And on your next inhale, lift the left hand up to the sky. Open the chest. Look to your left hand and then take it to a side bend to the other side. Flow with your breath. You may look down or forward. I just like to look up, but it's always just a suggestion. Remember, it's your practice. Keep on doing that 1 or 2 more times. And meet me in the center. Walk the hands forward, tent the fingers. And now crunch those shoulders and then roll them back. So what's working, it's not only the shoulders, it's also the shoulder blades. So try to open the back first, and the way you do it is externally rotate those shoulder blades. It's like as if you're opening, widening your upper back, and then bring them to your shoulders, to your ears, sorry, and then roll them back, creating space between the ears and the shoulders. One more time. Crunch it up, all the way up, and then release down. On your next inhale, bring the palms of your hands to the ground. Lift that bum rolling onto your knees, opening up the legs behind you. Wide-legged table pose. Straight ahead, go to circling the hips. And here you can bend the elbows. The knees are bent. You can bend the elbows and maybe bring them to the ground and just sway from side to side with forearms on the ground, elbows on the ground, wide-legged position, and keep on rolling. This is exploration time, so try anything that feels good, maybe walking the hands forward a little bit and dropping the hips, even if you are in a wide-legged stand. Sometimes it feels good. And just switch direction at some point. I like to bend the elbows. That's my latest thing, rolling the hips around. And then indeed come to proper table where all the joints are stacked. So the wrists are under my shoulders, and that's important to keep in any place, except of downward dog where we release pressure from the wrists. And start moving back and forth just a little bit. Tuck your toes under so you're stretching your feet, and push into your wrists when you go over. Now be gentle and test the waters. This is going to tell you if your wrists are strong today or not. If you have sharp pain, come out of it. It's not the day to push on your wrists. And then come back to table. Switch the direction of the fingers to face your knees. So you're opening the inside of your hands. Try to move back and forth again. Now this one is going to be a very small movement. Don't go deep. Just a tiny bit. And then bring the fingers to face the sides of your mat and the room, and circle again, but on the wrist. This time it's not the hips that we're looking for. So just around, and come to the ball of the thumb when you're forward, and when you're on the back side more to that edge of the palm of your hand. Nice. So your toes are tucked, I hope. Come up, release that warm-up that today we did to the wrists only on the mat. Release it, and I have a feeling that my chain here is banging, so I'm gonna try really quick to get it off. Here we go. It's banging on the mic, sorry guys. And come back to the table. Untuck your toes and just move. Yeah, you can tap, tap, tap as usual. And then just move from side to side. If you need a visual, just look at me. So everything is stacked, but I'm just dropping the hips from side to side. This is such a good stretch if you have back problems. So just a tiny, tiny bit if you can't go all the way. And then tuck your toes under. Bring those knees to a hover. Tuck the tailbone in. Activate the core. Push the mat away. Look in between your hands or a little bit forward so your neck is part of your spine. Breathe. And step the left leg midway between your hand and your foot. And bring it back. Then do it with the right. And bring it up. Now you can bounce while doing it. Just keep on doing this. You can bring those hips up and down. You can bounce. But just keep the shoulders really strong and the core tucked in. So use your Mula Bandha lock and use your breath. One more to each side. Breathe. And release the knees to the ground. Untuck your toes. Come to child's pose. 2 wholesome breaths here. And stretch that back. One more. Inhale. And release. Walk the hands to the right side. On the ground in child's pose. Release the tension that we created now. I don't want to traumatize the back. And in general, walk the hands back to center and then to the left. In general, you don't want to do anything that is traumatic to the body because it locks down. And then come back to center, come back to table, tuck those toes under, and come to a hover. This time we're going to step again forward, but we're going to step it as far as you can, and it doesn't have to be far, on the outside of your left hand if I start with the left leg. So if you can do only halfway, that's wonderful, but do it to the side. All right? That's it. So let's start stepping. Knees in a hover, tuck the tailbone in, left and back, right and back, left and back, and breathe. I feel the breaths in this room, and they're beautiful. Keep on doing that. Left and right, and come back to child's pose. 2 wholesome breaths. So this is core and a little bit of cardio. Mobility is big here. 1 more breath. The juices are flowing, and I think we are absolutely ready for downward dog. So meet me in downward dog. Take your time getting there. Take your time adjusting. So I say it a lot, and I'm going to keep on saying it. Downward dog doesn't have to be with straight legs. You can bend your knees plenty. Bring the belly to your thighs. That's number 1. Number 2, shoot those hips up and back. Excuse me. And then release the head. Roll those shoulders away from your ears, exactly as we did in the warm-up. That's why we did it. Roll them down towards your bum. It's not down because we are all down, but you know what I mean. And just hold it. 1 more breath here. And then walk the dog, stretching the hamstrings. Make it count. Maybe you roll the heels from side to side. I keep my limbs straight when I do this, but you can bend knees and elbows, and I'm giving you the visual if you want. And just stretch anything you need. And meet me in downward dog at some point, still and strong. On your next inhale, bend your knees plenty. Look forward and walk to meet your hands. Bend your knees plenty and come to forward fold, releasing the head, releasing the hands. The only thing that is really, really working are the thighs. They're holding you up. With each breath, come closer to your thighs and to the ground, as if you're fusing yourself onto your thighs. That's how close you are. And if you don't feel that, then bend the knees even more. And on your next inhale, bring your hands slowly up your shins. Just caress yourself and then bring them to the thighs and then push up to a standing position. Open the hands to extended Tadasana pose, and I'm just fixing something, and here we are. Now you can open your feet a little bit wider than your hips in Tadasana. No harm done here. It's all for the grounding. That's why it's a mountain. And on your next inhale, bend your knees softly. Circle sweep the hands to the sky. And forward fold through the hips, bending them, hinging them, coming down. Inhale, halfway lift. Straight back, but soft knees. Tuck the tailbone in. Suck the belly in. Stay here for another breath. Roll those shoulders away from your ears. This is strong. This is work for the core. So take it as one. And then release, bending the knees, release the hands to the mat. Walk legs to plank. Again, stacking the joints is so important. So I always come to plank and move my hands so my wrists are under my shoulders and at the width of my shoulders. Tuck the tailbone in and push those toes into the mat. That will help you activate the legs. Inhale, exhale, don't crunch your shoulders. And on the count of 6, we're coming to the mat slowly, tucking the elbows in. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A little bit of fire to the arms. Untuck your toes. Come to baby cobra. Activate the legs. Come down with your exhale. Inhale one more time, baby cobra. Activate the legs. Come on down with your exhale. Last time, baby cobra. Inhale. Exhale down, push to table. Push to child's pose. Your choice of having the knees open or closed. Breathe. And find where the breath is better, either knees together or open. That will teach your body to breathe in certain poses. Push back up to table. And push back up to downward dog. On your next inhale, bend the knees. Look forward. Hop or walk to meet your hands. Forward fold, maybe intensify it by bending and extending the legs, releasing the neck. Hands can be on the ground or behind your shins. Just a little bit of stretching here of the hips upwards. And then bend the knees, circle sweep the hands all the way up. Notice the difference between pushing yourself to a standing position and using your core. Hands to heart center. Breathe. Party time, some water. If you have, I remembered to bring my my little helper here. It's the right time to wipe the sweat and enjoy a little bit of reset. Come back to Tadasana whenever you're ready, either with hands in heart center or extended. I love the extended because they can roll the shoulders back. That's what I like. And on your next inhale, circle sweep the hands to the sky. Engage the glutes, stay here for a minute, drop the head, and push those hips forward. Not a full back bend, just pushing those hips forward, tucking the tailbone in, releasing the head, not crunching the shoulders. This is baby back bend, and it's beautiful. And then, with your breath, come to center, hinge from the hips, come all the way down to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Maintain that core engagement here. And exhale, bring the hands to the mat, maybe jump to plank. And if you do so, do it soft as you can. Tuck the tailbone in, push the mat away, and then arrange yourself. Nice breath. You can do the baby cobra, so get yourself to the mat, baby cobra, and meet me in downward dog, or join me to Chaturanga Dandasana, which is basically pushing forward a little bit as we did in the warm-up, halfway down, so your shoulders are always higher than your elbows. Untuck your toes. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. And take a minute. I'm just going to show you something about Chaturanga Dandasana. If you have a block, because I see a lot of shoulder injuries because of Chaturanga, because that's the thing we do a lot. So the injury comes from that. If you put a block on the wide side, you basically are not going lower than that. See? That's it. I see people doing this, doing this. Everything goes sideways and to injuries like that. And then they say, I can't do downward dog. Of course, you're hurting your shoulders. Excellent. So if you don't know where your chaturanga is, put a block and try it out. And now come back to downward dog. Release. And on your next inhale, right leg goes up in the air. Lift the back heel, bend it to your chest, and then kick it right out. Again. Kick it up again. Yes. Again, bend it in. Exhale, kick it out to three-legged dog again. Last time in, kick it out. And this time, when you bring it back in, step it in between your hands using momentum. So a bit different than usual. Locate your knee above your heel, and just breathe for a minute. Bring the left hand next to the right foot. Open the right hand to the sky. Make sure you're not collapsing into the left hand. And the way you do know that, you just lift the left hand. Just a tiny hover to see what changes if I do that. Frame the front leg again, and now leave the right hand on the outside of the right foot, or maybe on a block. Rotate the hip a little bit and open the left hand to the sky. So that should feel really complementary. If it doesn't, then come out. Frame the front leg. Bring the back leg to meet the front. And come to chair. Hands, yogi's choice. Push those hips back so you can see your toes and your knees never go over them. Hands over, zombie hands, whatever you guys. I like zombie hands, but you know, you do you. Keep on holding here. On your next breath, exhale, come lower. Tuck the tailbone in. Last breath. And on your inhale, come on up. Take it right away to that beautiful back bend or baby back bend. Inhale. Exhale, take it right away to forward fold. So flow. This is a hot flow, right? Inhale, halfway lift. Strong core. Exhale, hands on the mat. Maybe jump to plank or walk. Chaturanga Dandasana is next, or baby cobra. Push forward, halfway down. Pay attention to your shoulders. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Again, do whatever it takes for you to reset before the left leg. On your next inhale, left leg goes up, then the back heel. 3 kicks. So bring the leg in and kick it out. Bring the leg in and kick it out. 3rd kick, in and out. The 4th one, we use momentum to step it in between our hands. So it's a little bit more explosive, right? Set it up. Right hand stays on the ground. Left hand comes to twist. Again, make that or those adjustments so you can lift the right hand a little bit. Just checking yourself. Frame the front leg again. And now again, the movement comes from the hips. So leave the left hand, open the hips a little bit. It's a natural range of movement. And then the twist comes from the upper back, the thoracic spine. And bring it down. Remember chair? Bring it to chair, you guys. Up. So remember, we're going to go to low chair, so pace yourself. Just make sure your knees are in the right position. Side view for the people at home. I don't like that. That is not enforcing the core. You're just here using your thighs, which is great, but this is so much more because I'm tucking the tailbone in and my core is working like crazy now. And now inhale, lower. Lower by pushing those hips down, not the knees forward. And now inhale all the way up, that beautiful back bend. If you need more, you can go deeper to a back bend. No need to. And straight ahead with your breath, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, to plank. In plank, take a moment to be strong. Push the mat away. Check that you are all in line. Don't round so much your back. Lower those shoulders. And Chaturanga Dandasana is next. Forward, halfway down. Inhale, upward dog, downward dog. Walk the dog. A little bit of a stretch here if you want. Just cross the legs behind you in downward dog. So it doesn't matter which leg you take first, just cross them and push those hips back. Push back, back, back. You can walk to your hands, to your legs, and forward fold like this. It feels really good. And then walk those hands back to the front and switch the legs. And once again, push those hips back, 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 and then walk the hands to your legs. Forward fold. Still pushing those hips back. And then walk the hands back. And position yourself in downward dog again. Take your time to come to stillness. And on your next inhale, right leg goes up in the sky. Lift the back heel. Bend your leg into your chest and step it behind your leg, your hands, not in between, just behind it. Lower the back heel after you step it a little bit forward and come to warrior one. Adjust. So warrior one, technically, both feet are facing forward, square hips, hands up, bent front, knee. Breathe, interlace the fingers behind your sacrum, open the chest on your inhale, exhale, humble the warrior. Option to lift the hands once you are down. Legs are pretty active here. So your base is pushing those toes into the mat. Keeping the base, releasing the neck. On your next exhale, so inhale while I'm talking, come on up. Bring those hands up. A little bit of a back bend, engaging the glutes first. So the back bend here is so subtle. Really, just drop the head, lower the shoulders, and that's enough. If you want more, you can stretch that core. And then come back to warrior one, shifting weight by pushing with the left leg forward, coming to stick pose. So a little bit of a balance here. Lower that left hip down, pointing with the toes either to the ground or to the back of your room. Then bend the standing leg, bring the left leg to chair. Breathe. Come lower. Inhale all the way up, a little bit of a baby back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Use your breath to move. Inhale, halfway lift, strong core. Exhale, hands to the mat, still strong core when I'm jumping to plank. That's what brings me the hop. Not the legs, it's the core. Chaturanga Dandasana is next. Push forward, halfway down. Pay attention to your shoulders. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Where's my friend, the towel? Take a minute and position yourself in downward dog, setting up for the left leg. On your next inhale, left leg goes up in the air. Lift the back heel, bend it to your chest, and then step it just an inch shy from your hands, not in between them. Then take a step forward with the back leg, a tiny one, drop the back heel, and come to warrior one. Make adjustments. Look at yourself if you have a mirror, and be sure you're not here. We are here. Hands up, shoulders down. Again, if your shoulders are not happy here, open your hands. No need to be here. Interlace the fingers behind your sacrum. And inhale, open the chest. Exhale, humble that warrior. Work those feet into the mat before lifting the hands. And once you are lifting the hands, keep on pushing those toes in the mat. And if you do push both legs into the mat, you'll feel your hips squaring. Just a natural occurrence. Push those heels and toes into the mat. And on your next exhale, so inhale while I'm talking, come on back up. And set it up for warrior one again. A little bit of a back bend, engaging the glutes first. Very important in these kinds of asymmetrical position. So drop the head, maybe hands back, and that's it. If you want a little bit more of a stretch for the core, then go back. Bring it up to warrior one again. And straight ahead, shifting forward to stick pose. So stick pose, I'm lowering my right hip. They still have to be square, the hips. One more breath here. Lower the heart rate by talking to it. Bend the standing leg. Bring the right leg to meet it. Chair. So in chair here, we are exhausted, but that's what it takes. This is where the magic happens. This is where the breath comes in and sweeps away all the can'ts and all the, I don't know, come lower. Just keep breathing and convincing your body you can do it. You're on the golden bridge, right? You are smart enough to know you can do it. And feel that curiosity. Can I do it? Yes, you can. Inhale all the way up. Baby back bend. Exhale, forward fold with your breath. Feel the fluidity of your spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Strong core. Exhale, maybe jump to plank. Nice. And Chaturanga Dandasana is next. So push forward, halfway down. Upward dog. Downward dog. A little bit of a cross-plane stretch here that I love so much. So, right hand to the left shin. You know it, Corina. She knows me already. So look up under your armpit. So good. And then take it to the other side. Now, once again, if this is not in your practice, don't do it. Just stay in downward dog. Do whatever you need. Come back to downward dog and set it up. And when I say set it up, it means be prepared. On your next inhale, right leg goes up, lift the back heel, bend the leg to your chest. This time step it all the way in between your hands, lower the back heel, and come to warrior two. And oh boy, do I like this. After being with the head down, rising up to warrior two. Take a few breaths to make this a balancing pose after all those tumbling downs. Pay attention to your knee. Never go like this. This is the worst you can do to your knee. Knee over your heel, open up. Now the hips cannot go all the way to here, because then I do this. I want you to do this. I'm opening my hips, but the pelvis is a little bit to the side, right? Pay attention to that on warrior two. Flip the front hand, reverse the warrior, and we're gonna stay here. So left hand does whatever. Breathe, lower those shoulders, look up. And my 2 cents, the hand doesn't have to, the right hand doesn't have to go down, not at all, up, just stretch that right side, and at the same time, tuck the left side, the left ribs in. That's what's gonna give you that side bend. One more breath. Exhale, come back to warrior two. Have a glance on your knee. Make sure you're in a right position. Great. On your next inhale, come to side angle. Forearm on the thigh. Left hand to the sky. And if you want, and take it a notch up, you can lift that right hand either in front of you or over your head. If you do so, make sure your knee is still in place and you're not swaying it. Breathe. And come back to warrior two. Bring the right leg to be straight. Bring it, the foot to be parallel to the left. And a little bit of a back bend in wide-legged stand, because then we can release a little bit of the glutes. Put your hands on your bum. Push forward. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's the movement. But if you want more, you can roll your shoulders back and release the head. But not too much, okay? We're not going into a full back bend here. It's just a stretch. And come back to center. Open your hands to a T. Come to a forward fold without locking your knees. Release either the hands in front of you or on blocks. Or if you have been doing this for a while, hands can hold the heels or the behind, the behind of the legs, not just the behind. Then suck the belly in. Lift it up. This time it's kind of down, right? But in your mind, you're lifting it up to your rib cage. It's going to feel different because you are indeed in inversion. And just work shifting the weight into your toes, pushing those hips up with your breath. Then everybody release activation. Bring the hands to the center and maybe some side bends, side lunges. And if you do, try it with your heels inward or without. See what's better for your knees. You're taking care of your knees here. And don't go too low. If you want to take it to the challenge, then raise your hands up and just move between those side lunges, trying to keep the feet on the ground. Not a necessity, not essential. So you can lift them if you want, but if you keep them down, you're going to get a stretch, a really nice stretch to the inside of the whole leg. So just do that. 1 or 2 more times. And indeed come to that forward fold, aligning the feet to be parallel, releasing the head down. Maybe a few nudges, just sway a little bit. Soft knees, never lock your knees. And then open your hands to a T again. Use core to come up. Nice. Bend the right leg, coming back to warrior 2, toes pointing to the right. Release everything. Lift the back heel. Switch, not switch, but rotate those hips forward so you are in a high lunge of sorts. And then frame your leg to runners. Push that right leg back to plank. I'm gonna twist around. I suddenly remembered I have cameras on my bum. So plank here, just hold it. This is all we're doing here. Holding, sucking the belly in, tucking the tailbone in, engaging the upper back. Push that mat, push it, push it, push it. And then Chaturanga Dandasana, push forward, halfway down, inhale, upward dog, exhale, downward dog. Take a drink of water if you need, use a towel, set it up. I will wait in downward dog. And if you are in downward dog, take care of yourself. Breathe, don't lock the knees. Open the back, release the head. Just be happy in this pose. And on your next inhale, left leg goes up. Lift the back heel, bend it to your chest, and this time step it in between your hands, lowering the back heel, coming to warrior 2. Once again, pay attention to everything that is happening here. So the knee should be stacked over the heel, and the pelvis is open to the right side this time, but it's not completely here, right? It's not like goddess. That's a good thing to remember. And then flip the front hand and reverse the warrior. We're going to be here a while, so pace yourself. Right hand can do whatever, either on the thigh, on the hip, or behind the back. Shoot that left hand up. Make sure you're tearing the mat apart with your feet, drilling into it, lowering the shoulders, you guys, and then tuck that right side in, the rib cage, and maybe you'll squeeze another stretch on that left hand up. Inhale, exhale, come back to warrior 2. Side angle is next, so left hand on the left thigh, open the right hand. And stay here for a sec, just noting where your shoulders are. Roll them away from your ears, and then engage the side core, the obelisks, and maybe lift the left hand in front of you or over your head. Keep on breathing. Peek at your knee. Where is it? Is it stacked? If not, bring it in. Inhale. Exhale, come back to warrior 2. I feel it today. And straightening the left leg, bringing the left foot to be parallel to the right. Stay here just one moment. Circle the hips. Now we have both of the hips open to both sides. Hope you feel the same. Yeah, a little bit of that back bending, wide-legged stand is optional here too. Not too deep. I'm encouraging you not to push it. Just a little bit of a movement here. And then come back to 5-pointed star. Bring those heels inward and come to goddess. Goddess is the same as warrior 2, but with 2 legs. That's what it is. So bend both legs and the knees same direction as your toes. So you're not falling in, you're not falling out. You're stacked, again, all in one alignment to the ground. In general, always think rocks in a river. When you stack them up, they're all aligned using minimum energy because of gravity. So that's what you want to do. You want to stack everything to use minimum gravity so you don't have injury on your skeleton. Only muscles are working. And yes, I'm talking to pass the time. On your next inhale, bring your hands to your heart center, either prayer or fire mudra or lotus mudra. Anything you need today. And on your next inhale, shoot up. All limbs straightens. Exhale, come back, round circling the hands. Come back to goddess, maybe lower. Inhale up. Now meditate with this. And don't stop on the way down. Straight up. So you are flowing, coming up and coming down. And again, if you want to push yourself, come lower. If you want to push yourself, maybe come to the tiptoes of your legs coming up. And down. 2 more times. Last time, wherever you are. And come to goddess. Not done yet. Lift the back heel, the left heel, sorry. And lower it down. Right heel, lower it down. Left, right, left, right, and the grand finale, both. Hold it and breathe. Roll those shoulders back. Open the chest. And release. Come on up. Come on to warrior 2 on the left side as we did before. Breathe, lower those shoulders. Lift the back heel. Rotate the hips to face the front. High lunge. Low runners, frame the front leg. Back to plank. Release yourself to your forearms. Now bring the left hand or palm of your hand to grab the right elbow. So it crosses over in front of you. Okay? Yes. Rotate those heels to the back and come to side lunge on your forearm, lifting the right hand. Now, if this is not in your practice, bend the top leg, put it in front of you. That will help you out, okay? We're going to pop up. So, 1, lift those hips. Down, lift them. You can even lower them. 3, 4, 5. Come back to forearm plank. 2 breaths. Tuck the tailbone in. Shoulders above your elbows. Breathe. Through the nose, keep that heat going. And now right hand holding the left elbow. Then rotate those heels back and open to side plank on your right hand. And 5 dips or 5 pumping ups. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back to forearm plank. 2 breaths, you can do it. Tuck the tailbone in. Push the mat away with your elbows this time. Breathe. On your next exhale, release the thighs to Sphinx. Untuck your toes. You can open the feet a little bit. You don't have to keep them together. And stretch that core, lowering the shoulders. If you have a healthy back, come to seal, engaging the glutes. If not, stay in a very low Sphinx and release the head. That will take off pressure from the lower back. So, a lot of options here. And then make your way to the mat. Mini Shavasana. Drink water, catch your breath, whatever it is that you need before core. So we did our share of back bend standing. I would love to do some core today. So I'm drinking water. I hope you at home are doing the same and taking care of yourself. It's a hot day. You don't pay attention. And whenever you are ready and you're on your mat, on your belly, a little bit of scorpion stretch before the core. It's really good to stretch before working out on the core as well, not only after. So lift the left leg, bend it, lift it, and push it to the right side. Don't stay as we usually do, come back. Take it to the other side. Bend the right leg, lift it, push it to the back, rounding yourself on your left shoulder, and bring it back. Now flow between those two a few times. Just releasing the core and the lower back. Also a beautiful stretch for the shoulders. And then at some point, come to the mat. Baby cobra is next. Up. Release down, push to table. Push to child's pose, just for a breath. And then come up to hero pose. A little bit of side twists. Well, all twists are to the sides, if I'm thinking about it. But just a little bit of the upper body twist, right? Fun fact, you guys. The lower back only twists 5 degrees. So all the twisting is happening from the upper back, you guys. That's why you never should go with force into the lower back twist, okay? Remember. It's all from experience. Bring those feet in front of you. Come to your bum bum. And I have a new core exercise. I have a feeling Amy is going to love it. But before, again, a little bit of a stretch forward, not too fancy, just whatever. Don't pay attention to the form. Just feel it. Maybe bending the knees, maybe releasing the head. Just an unstructured movement. No magazine poses here. And then come to your forearms. And as I always say, transition is a pose. So I bring it in. You don't have to do it. I bring the feet together and flex them. That activates the whole leg, including the glutes. And then I tuck the tailbone in and I come to my forearms. So I do it slowly. It's halfway down to the mat, and that teaches you that breaking down of the muscles that you need. Okay? Great. Now we're going to shift again to the right side. So I'm just tilting myself, right? As if I'm on the beach. Bend the legs. And now you are supporting yourself. You can bring the forearm or the hand in front of you. It doesn't have to be next to your body. Just find the place where it's good for you. Left hand up. On your exhale, bring it in. Left hand over, yes. Now pay attention to what I'm doing. You can come out of it. Pay attention to what I'm doing. So I'm doing this, crunching it in, working this side. But oh boy, the right side is working too, okay? Pull it down, left hand up, and 5, down, 4, down, 3, down, 2, down, 1, down. Let's do one more because it's easy. No, it's not. And now do the same. Leave the legs on the ground, but this time they're straight. Doing the same. Now, if straight is not in your practice, keep on doing this. If hovering is too much, lower the feet. This is the second set. No need to be heroes. Do what your body asks you to do. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release to beach day. So what is the beach day? This. You just collapse. Exactly, Gloria. Just collapse into it. It's really good to also pinpoint to the body what it means to be completely relaxed before going into the hard work. You have those two extremities. Muscle memory is beautiful. Ready to the other side? Let's do it. So come to your left forearm, either close to the body or open. That's you. It's up to you. Tilt yourself a little bit and then bend the legs. So here, so far, so good. Can stay here for hours, let me tell you. Bring the right hand up. And first, legs bent. We're coming with the right hand over and under and leave it in a hover. 4, open. 3, open. 2, open. 1, straight legs in a hover, strong shoulder, straight legs. 5, 4, use your breath. 3, 2, 1, beach day. So usually I do 12 of these. I wanted to introduce you. So we did 5. Prepare yourself for next time, 10. Wonderful, Gloria. I like what Gloria is doing. So come to the mat, bring the soles of your feet together, and open the knees. If you want, hands can come over your head. If this is not in your practice, try blocks under your thighs. If you don't have blocks, maybe hold your thighs with your hands, locating the elbows on the ground. Just let a little bit of an opening to happen. But I know that a lot of people, this is messing up their lower back. So you do you. Option always to bring the feet to the mat. And now a beautiful decompression stretch that I love. I learned from Erin. So bring the palms of your hands to the top of your thighs. The thumb goes into the inside of the thigh. And it's all happening where the crease is, where the thigh connects to the pelvis. And then on your next exhale, push those hands into the thighs. The intention of the pose is to straighten the hands and, by the way, decompress the spine. If done right, you can feel it in the lower spine. Roll those shoulders down, don't crunch them in, don't roll them in. And you decide how much you push into the thighs. So if you push a lot, you'll feel it a lot, and vice versa. One more breath here. And release. Then bring the feet to the mat. Bring the feet to your chest and drop them to the right. Any modification here of side stretch or supine twist is acceptable. You do you. It's either both legs on top, back leg, the lower leg straight, whatever it takes to open the hands to a T and look to the left. So take your time, breathe in and out into it. Again, blocks here are so helpful. You can bring them in between your legs or under. And sometimes moving the knees up or down will give you a better angle. So try it. Two more wholesome breaths here. Just releasing, surrendering to the mat. And then using your core, and the way you use your core on the mat is thinking about gluing the lower back to the mat before bringing the legs up. That will engage the core, drop them to the other side. Again, find that angle, and both sides are not the same. So we are trying to balance, but we're not symmetrical. Please remember that. And look to the right. Hands in a T. One more wholesome breath here. Completely big and nourishing. Before using the core, once again, to bring the legs up. And the reason I sound like that is because my belly is working, not the legs, not the hip flexors. I'm bringing the legs up with the core. Give yourself a nice, beautiful hug. And then release the left leg. Interlace fingers on the right shin. And then open the leg a little bit to the side, away from the rib cage. Now let that left leg stretch down. If you have a block and you have no back problems, you can put it under your sacrum to extended wind removing pose. So you put it under the sacrum, release the left leg to the ground, inactive, right leg, same as before. Just something to try. That will enhance the stretch of the left hip flexor and the front thigh, the quads. Maybe even get into the glutes a little bit. Depends on your structure. And then release the right leg down, take it to the left leg. Again, extended wind removing pose is optional. You don't have to do that. And once the leg is in, move it away from the rib cage and maybe, just maybe, release everything else. It takes time to release, by the way. I still have to remind myself to lower the shoulders, to not hold tension in my face. All those little things. And on your next exhale, maybe bring both legs. If you're on the block, stay on the block. Bring both legs and then lift them up to waterfall. Just before Shavasana. So this is last pose before Shavasana. You can do it on the block or not. And again, I'm going back to that image of rocks in the river. That's where your legs want to be. Least amount of energy expended, but they're still up. So try to tap into gravity here. Nice. And next few breaths are yours to do whatever you need before coming to Shavasana. So if you want to take the block out, then do it. If you need to stretch some more, stretch those legs some more by all means. I'm gonna give you a little bit of darkness because light is nothing without darkness, right? We need both sides of the spectrum. And if you did stretch and had enough movement, then bring yourself to Shavasana. Anyhow you need, it's yours to take. Bring your awareness back to the breath. In a practice that is basically movement, the only constant is the breath. Allow your belly to soften, allow your body to surrender to the mat. Bring yourself to the exact halfway middle point on that golden bridge of balance. Wiggle everything in order to come and breathe in that point. A few breaths here in complete silence. And beat by beat, feel the ground again under your body. Feel the rising belly and rib cage from the inside. Maybe wiggle your toes and your fingers in order to feel those extremities of the body awakening again. And if your mind wandered, just welcome it back. It's a beautiful thing, we can still wander. Bring some more movement into your body as you breathe back into now. Maybe roll the wrists and the heels, shoulders. Maybe move from side to side. And at some point, if you wish, you can always stay in Shavasana on your back. But if you do choose to come up, then roll to one side. And I love this pose because it brings so much security and love. Fetal position. Gratitude pose, I call it. And then just push yourself back up to a seated position. Allowing yourself to come back to the daily life with ease. So we are Mystic Fitness, me, Nissa, always so thankful that you choose to practice with us. We never take it for granted. And for that, I say namaste. Yay! Have a great weekend if I don't see you.
Thank you.